Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, and at long last I have my ass into gear and I'm ready to start uploading the current PRL season's highlights. This is the pre-season event in Spain for the Pacific Division, and it was quite a shocking intermediate qualifying session for myself. Had a pretty good lap going towards the end of the session but invalidated it, so I'll be starting 5th. I chose to start on the hard compound because of course you can choose, having not used any dry tyres in qualifying. Turned out it wasn't particularly good or bad, just meant that I couldn't really push early on. There were some cars around me that made the same choice, including Craig in that Red Bull, but the understeer at turn 3 saw me going very wide, and the soft tyres on my teammate Danny Rocks, of course was my teammate last season in Sauber. She actually went past, although she picked up some damage soon after and I was able to go back past. The team working quite well together, not defending too hard from each other, trying not to cost each other too much time in the process. Most of the race I was following Craig. In front you could actually see some damage from Bozza. He was pretty much out of control for the next few corners, so I was thankful that he managed to regain control before spinning into me there. That was quite close. Again, followed Craig for a long time. This was well over 10 laps of just following pretty much this close. Finally I decided it was time to get past. I used Rich for the first time on this straight. I wouldn't say I was playing with him, but I was more like biding my time, making sure the tyres wouldn't wear too much. I could start pushing later in the stint. That's exactly what I did. And I was up to 2nd at the time. And then first,
we're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Maz and Stewart had pitted from the lead. Craig and I pitted on the same lap. He didn't fall too far back, to be fair to the Red Bull driver. But then in this stint I really pushed on the soft, setting the fastest lap of the race. Rain came in the final 3 laps or so, but it was never wet enough for the intermediates like it was in qualifying, and Stewart was there for the taking. He had gone from mediums to softs, I believe, and that is a stretch. The Ferrari driver, there's only a Ferrari driver for this pre-season race. He had not yet chosen his car. He would be in the Williams the rest of the season, and well, he just couldn't maintain the pace. We had a bit of a close battle there, almost forced me off. In fact, I went all 4 wheels off. The game did not restrict me though, but there was a bit of contact through 3. Not sure if he understeered into me, but he eventually ceded the position around 4 as I went around the outside, and that would be battle over. 2nd place, not bad from the position I was on the grid, but Maznat with a very triumphant victory. Big margin actually, so he was looking good ahead of the season proper. Surprisingly, he's only had 2 wins in PRL coming last season, but then you consider he liked to start at the back towards the end of the season. Perhaps he has a better shot this season of some more victories. He will probably be our major contender, so we'll have to watch out for him. Now moving on to another Spanish pre-season race. I'm in the Mercedes once again. This time my teammate is Mcsendet, the champion of the American Series. That's the champion after Forza, the champion who was the champion after me in the American Series. Very fast drivers in front of me. You've got Odoms in the McLaren, you've got Mcsendet, and then you've got Forza Alonso. You've got 3 champions in a row actually here in PRL, and Aerostrike is no slouch behind. So this is a very densely packed grid. I actually kind of mucked up qualifying. It was kind of sad, but things started to fall my way. Odoms was out early on, you can see him there, binned it from the lead. I'd already overtaken Aerostrike, who out-qualified me by squeezing him towards the inside into turn 1. I pitted,
Complete, go now.
And Dahi was on my case basically. The Williams driver, very quick. He was obviously, as you can see on the leaderboard, on softs, so it was 2 stopping, so it wasn't too much of an issue if he got past, but I thought better hold him back a little bit so he doesn't get too far in front, so that he might actually catch up to me at the end of the race. I didn't really defend, honestly. As you can see, I maintained the outside line. He just didn't quite get his nose far enough up to make the move stick on his first couple of attempts. Despite the fact that the tyre was 2 compounds softer, it took him I think 3 attempts to finally get by at turn 1. We were still side by side, but there was no way of coming back, and I didn't really want to too much because I knew, as you can see there, that he would have to pit again, and 3rd place would pretty safely be mine. There was a big gap back behind, and in front indeed, Forza and Mcsendet, too far in front. So we came third, not too bad. The race time was quicker than the Pacific one, despite starting on fresh tyres in the Pacific one. So I'd made some setup advancements which would help for round 5 of the championship when we got there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Apologies for being roughly 5 weeks late on this, but I will get there, I promise. I've been very lazy. Anyway, I've been Jacko. I'll see you next time for the Australian Grand Prix.